In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps to start working with a nutrition client, what you need to say, what you need to give them, and when, walking you through the exact steps I've developed through working with 200 nutrition clients over the last 10 years, plus some action-packed tips so you can start working with nutrition clients right away. Starting with tip number 1, taking people from curious to paying. So as you get people interested in your nutrition coaching, people are going to be reaching out to you, wanting to know more information, how things cost. This is going to be really typical. The best thing you can do is to get them to fill out an application form to work with you. I have some good examples of straightforward application forms that convert. This is something that you're going to want to put in the application in your bio if you're doing some marketing on things like Instagram. That's where you're going to want to put it. If you want an example of this, drop form below and I'll make sure that gets over to you. But the most important reason why you want people to fill out the application to work with you is you want an opportunity to show them how valuable coaching is before you get started. Because if they're way too wrapped up into the actual price of coaching, they're going to see it as a cost instead of an investment. The most important thing you're going to want to collect through this application is what they're trying to achieve. This is going to be instant leverage because now you know exactly what they want out of nutrition coaching, what they need help with, and you're no longer selling them on nutrition coaching. You're going to help them achieve that specific thing. It's no longer about you, it's completely about them. And one of the best things you can do to take people from curious about nutrition coaching and turn them into paying clients is collect this information in a formal way, respond to it, showing the path forward and how you're going to help them, and they're going to see the value in it, and they're going to be much more likely to sign up for your nutrition coaching. Which brings me to tip number 2, which is the free nutrition client profile. And this is something that we now teach in the Dr. Mark method to new nutrition coaches because it works so well. Here's what you need to do for potential clients completely free of charge. See, most people have a pretty good idea of what eating healthy looks like, but what they have no clue about is what they're specifically doing that's holding them back from reaching their goals. No one's ever assessed what they're doing on an individual level, which is what you're going to do right now. Once they apply for your coaching, get them to track their intake on something like MyFitnessPal or MacroFactor or Chronometer for 5 days. Ideally with 1 day over the weekend because they're going to be out of their normal food routine. And once you get this data back, it's going to allow you to take a look at what they're doing on a calorie and energy demand basis, as well as the macronutrients they're consuming to supply those calories and show you what's holding them back from reaching their goals. Now, for the first time ever, someone's going to take a look at what they're specifically doing, provide insight, be helpful, show the path moving forward, and these people are going to be begging for the next step. This is literally your pro audition. This is something that's never been done for these people. This is no longer about how much does this cost, I'm not sure I can afford it, because they now see the value and they want to sign up. In a lot of cases, now we can talk about price after we've done this free nutrition client profile because price isn't an issue. They're ready to go and they don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And tip number 3 is to always use your voice or your face. Keep in mind all the information that we need to know about nutrition to reach our goals, it's already been said before. Believe it or not, people already in your life see you as the person that can help them with their nutrition or fitness goals. And the best way to build on this is to get you talking about it. Not writing about it, talking about it. Whenever you get a chance to correspond with someone, use your voice, use voice notes, or respond directly to them in a video. Everyone talks about scaling your business, but this unscalable stuff, which is responding to people directly with your voice, giving them specific individual insight, this is your superpower. I always get a chuckle at people that have a business account and have those autoresponder DMs. The best way to build know, love, and trust with potential clients is get them to hear your voice. So I would do this right from the beginning, answering any sort of questions to the application process, to this free assessment that we just detailed, because through this communication, they're getting to know you and your own specific personality as their coach. I can guarantee you, if you message me right now, I'm gonna send you a video message back. You're gonna see this ugly mug talking to you directly. This stuff is powerful, don't skip this step. And tip number 4, we have pending client folders. So anytime you get an application, anytime you do an assessment on someone, I want you to put all that information in a shared Google folder and collect it and keep it in one place. In here, you can keep any notes about the potential client, what they're going through, what they want to accomplish, what past correspondence looked like, so you have an active log of everything that you've discussed with them. Not only is this going to help you market more effectively because you have actual people telling you their problems and what they're struggling with, and we can create content based on that, but this also helps you stay organized and essentially becomes your leads list. If this client turns into a paying client, you just take their folder and you drop it into the check-in day. And if they're not ready to sign up, you just leave it there and periodically go through this list, touching base with people, seeing where they're at, and seeing if they're ready to take the next step. This stuff might seem like a lot of work and we haven't actually got to working with a client yet, but this is the type of stuff that's gonna allow you to stay organized, streamline your business, and really grow over the next little bit. Which brings me to tip number 5, which is follow up, follow up, follow up. So in the application process, we wanna make sure that we have a secondary way to contact this person. In most cases, the first option is going to be email. And that's because if we need to pass along shared sheets and stuff like that, it's gonna be really easy and effective to have a paper trail of what you already talked about and share things that way. But although we can leverage technology, sometimes things get missed. They go to spam folders, stuff like that. So it's important to have a secondary way to contact people. I love getting a phone number because if someone raises their hand and they say, I want to apply for your coaching, I'm interested, they are an adult human that said, I want this thing. And if you haven't heard from them in around like 24 or 48 hours, you should reach out again. Don't feel like you're harassing someone. Someone actually said they wanted help, they want this thing. You need to think about this from their perspective. They're a busy individual and this is not something that their entire life revolves around. Whereas you are probably constantly refreshing your inbox, seeing if someone is going to respond to you and really close to it. Other people just aren't this way, and even if they see the value in what you do, they may not always respond in a timely fashion. This is completely normal, but it is the reason why you need to follow up, follow up, follow up. One little hidden trick that I love to include here is when I'm doing correspondence and following up with people, I love to include Loom videos. Because just like email software, you can see when someone actually opens and watches a video. So when you include that, you can kind of keep tabs on where someone is at. And if things just aren't gonna work and they're not going to move forward, don't be afraid to actually take away their application. For example, it sounds like things are busy and this might not be the best time to move forward with coaching. I totally understand that, no pressure at all, but I'm gonna take away your application for right now. But there are other things that will keep you organized, which brings me to tip number 6, which is onboarding the same way. One of the biggest mistakes that new nutrition coaches make is they're constantly explaining the same things. Once someone has decided to work with you, meaning that they're ready to sign up and move forward, you're gonna start the onboarding process, which is essentially getting them set up and familiarized with your systems. One of the best things you can do is start to compile generic Loom videos, meaning you just address the person that's watching this video without a name and include that in a startup email so you're not constantly explaining the same things. Within those generic templates, I would start to put places where you can actually customize them to the individual, but you're still gonna be saving a ton of time by creating a standard startup email. As you go through this process with a bunch of new nutrition clients, people are going to be asking you questions and you should document them because this will make a perfect frequently asked questions resource. And this is something that you can start to include in your startup email as well. The golden rule for that is if you get a question more than once, you have something that more people want to know about and need to hear. So you take it and you create content out of it or put it in a resource that you can pass along and you don't have to constantly re-explain. This is going to save you a ton of time and frustration and avoid headaches. But I'm going to save you even more time in tip 7 as well, as we set expectations around check-ins. Even if you only have a handful of clients or no clients, you want to set rock solid expectations around check-ins from the beginning. If I'm starting with a new client, I'm going to describe to them exactly when to check in, what they need to do, what information I'm going to need from them, when everything needs to be submitted by, and even what happens if they miss their check-in. Because if I'm going to be an effective coach, I need to sit down at one time with all the relevant information right in front of me. This will allow me to assess all the feedback and go through everything when it's in the best possible situation and light, which is going to improve your coaching service. Since we don't want to do anything for our clients that they can't do for themselves, we're going to want them to prompt the check-in process because we don't want to be chasing them around. Even if I'm responding via video, I'm taking that link and I'm actually putting it inside an email. And I tell my clients we're going to discuss everything via email because I want everything right in front of me. I don't want to have to remember if this was talked about via text message or Instagram DM or over the phone. Also, anything that isn't super pressing can be addressed in the check-in. So if a client has questions or concerns, you want to tell them to include it in their weekly check-in. It's really important to train people the way you want to be treated. And without these clear expectations, you're not going to get that. Tip number 8, let me teach you how to get paid. I've detailed in another video how to set the perfect nutrition coaching price, but today I'm going to teach you how to actually accept payment. So one of the best things you can do as you're first starting out your nutrition coaching business is to set prices based on a monthly rate. This is going to allow you to build your monthly recurring revenue, which if you're trying to prioritize this and grow it, you don't want any big ups and downs because you've been selling packages. For example, if you have 3 clients that sign up one month but none the next, it's going to be really hard to pay your bills and take this full time. But if clients are paying month to month, you're slowly building, especially if you're retaining them. And the easiest way to accept these payments is to set up recurring payment links. I love Stripe for this. It's super easy to use, and clients can actually use credit cards to put the payment through. And when they sign up on a specific date, they will be continued to be billed month to month on that date until they cancel. There's no hounding or chasing people for payment. This is super easy and straightforward, and if you're not already doing it, you should start doing this now. We're gonna switch gears a little bit here now and talk about tip number 9, which is collecting all relevant information. So at the beginning of the coaching process, when someone's curious but they haven't yet signed up, we wanna send them to an application process that really is intended to convert. We don't wanna introduce too much friction to the process by asking them a bunch of unnecessary questions. The most important ones being what they're trying to accomplish specifically, what they've tried in the past, and how motivated are they to change right now. But outside of that, there's gonna be other information that's important to collect, like medical history, support system, stuff like that. Now would be the best time to collect that. Not at the beginning when they don't really know you and they're thinking, why is he asking me that? Save that for when you have them actually in your paid coaching system and you can start to act on additional coaching information. Which brings me to my last tip here, and this is by far the most important one. Tip number 10, they don't need to know all of it from the beginning. This is a situation with new coaches that's very common. They're a little bit nervous and even paranoid about the coaching process. They want to make sure that they're giving the best possible service, which essentially for them means that they're teaching their clients everything that they know. They're concerned that their clients won't get results right from the get-go, or there's something that they won't fully understand. And in an attempt to counteract this, they try to overcompensate by giving them so much stuff. Your clients don't need everything from the beginning. Even think back to some of your best learning experiences. You probably remember a few key things and how you were treated. Not every specific detail of what went on. Your clients don't need to know every single thing right from the beginning, because when you do try to deliver this, you're probably giving them way too much stuff, more stuff than they'll ever be able to act on, and it ends up making the coaching process a lot less effective. And there it is, folks. There are 10 tips to start working with a nutrition client, taking you throughout the entire process from someone's curious about your coaching service all the way to a paid coaching relationship. Let me know if any tip hit home in the comments below. Now, as great as all those tips are, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, check out this video I've linked up right here. Now that you know how to get started working with a nutrition client, learn how to best check in with them. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.